Hey, it's Sam here, and this is the GravaStar Mercury K1 Pro. It's a 75% tri-mode aluminum keyboard with a really unique and interesting design. Here I have the concrete grey version and it's priced around $150 US. And if you are interested, I have a 15% off discount code you can use in the description below. Included in the box is the user manual booklet, a Type A to Type C charging cable, a switch and keycap puller, 3 extra switches, a custom hard plastic cover, and the keyboard itself, which weighs just under 1.2 kilograms or 2.6 pounds. So for the design, the keyboard has a 75% layout with this really unique skeletal design alloy frame with these 2 feet here. There's also a RGB GravaStar logo at the arrow keys, a volume control knob on the top right corner, these grey concrete style keycaps, and 2 custom GravaStar graphic keycaps at the escape and enter key. The side profile looks like this with the skeletal design, some RGB lighting, cherry profile keycaps, and the adjustable feet which has RGB too. These 2 feet can move and are adjustable, so you can leave them in the air, gripping the table or slightly lifting the keyboard as you can see. The skeletal design and RGB carries on to the front with the addition of the GravaStar logo here in the middle. There is no RGB on the back, only on the feet, and here is where the toggle switches and the Type-C port is located. On the bottom, there is 4 rubber feet, the GravaStar logo and website in the middle, some text scattered around the keyboard with these highly detailed tubes and piping, the keyboard information sticker, and a magnetic slot for the 2.4 GHz USB wireless dongle here. Continuing to the lighting, the keyboard has per key RGB with a few effects pre-programmed already. Not only that, the keyboard also has 270 degrees of front and side RGB that has a few modes preloaded as well. There is even some RGB on the 2 feet and it changes accordingly to the side RGB. In terms of customizability, the keyboard comes with the GravaStar software. In here, you can add different profiles to the keyboard, remap all of the keys and function layers with the presets here, configure the brightness, speed, and color of the RGB effects, and even make it reactive to sound like an audio visualizer. This is an example of how it looks when you're listening to music or watching videos, and I think it looks pretty cool. Besides that, you can also add macros if you want to, and access the general information and settings about the keyboard as well. Moving on to the components on the keyboard. The keycaps are cherry profile double shot PBT except for the escape and enter key, which are die-cut PBT because of the graphics on them. But they do have the same thickness at 1.3mm. The double shot keycaps are in this grey concrete color which fits the aesthetics of the keyboard. The legends are sharp and the concrete texture has a nice roughness to it. For the switches, the keyboard comes with the GravaStar and Kel Speedy Min switch. It's a 5-pin linear switch with an actuation force of 45 grams and comes pre-looped out of the box. From my testing, these switches are quite smooth and have a talky sound signature. As for the PCB, it's 5-pin hot swap in a south-facing layout, so you can easily swap out the switches if you want to with no problems. The plate-mounted stabilizers are from Leoborg and they are up to standard with no rattle. This is because there's some loop applied already and you don't have to mod it yourself. Alright, now let's disassemble the keyboard and check out the components inside. The case is held together with 8 screws on the bottom. 6 of the screws are visible with the remaining 2 hidden under the rubber feet. With the screws out, the top case can be lifted and the batteries can be disconnected from the PCB. To get the plate and PCB out, the cables connecting to the daughter board and the feet have to be unplugged. Do be careful if you're doing this because they can be quite fragile. After that, all of the screws and mounts for the gaskets have to be removed. There is 10 screws and 5 plastic mounts in total, and they should come out easily. Finally, the plate and PCB can be taken out like this, and there isn't any screws holding them together, so you can just pull them apart. So here is the top case. It has the mirror finish shine through logo here, the daughter board with the switches and Type-C connection port, the diffuser for the side and front RGB, and the cables providing power to the feed RGB. In the bottom case, there's a huge piece of custom molded sound dampening silicone, the 2 batteries which are 8000 mAh in total, and the magnet for the 2.4 GHz wireless dongle. The PCB looks like this with the skeletal design continuing here, and it also has flex cards allowing it to flex quite a lot. On the front, you can see the volume control knob on the top right corner, and the 3 LEDs that light up the logo here. The back of the PCB looks like this with all of the Leoborg hot swap sockets, the front and side LEDs, and the ribbon cable here. As for the mods included in the keyboard, there's a pre-cut Poron case foam that sticks onto the back of the PCB, a PET insulation film that goes on top of the PCB, followed by a thin piece of IXPE switch pad, and a pre-cut Poron plate foam that sits in between the plate and PCB. The plate is FR4 and it looks stunning with this gold skeletal graphic. The plate has flex cards too, allowing it to flex even with the switches installed. The plate is also gasket mounted with these white rubber gaskets on the sides. They are soft and squishy and sit on these transparent plastic pieces that are screwed onto the top case. With all of the pieces put together, it provides a bouncy and soft typing feel. For me, this isn't too soft where it feels unstable and is just the right amount for a pleasant typing and gaming experience. Anyways, that was everything about the keyboard. Now please enjoy the typing sound test. Okay, here are my final thoughts on the GravaStar Mercury K1 Pro. Honestly, I think this is one of the most impressive and coolest looking keyboard. The skeletal aluminum frame wrapping around the keyboard is awesome, and it looks even better with the RGB lighting and feed included. Not only that, the keyboard sounds and feels premium, and you can really see the amount of passion and effort put into the matching components here. For $150 US, you are getting a great keyboard with a truly fresh and one-of-a-kind design. So, if you're interested in the GravaStar Mercury K1 Pro, it will be linked in the description below with a special 15% off discount code for you. And that does it for this video. Thanks to GravaStar for the keyboard, and thank you for watching. Leave a like on the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and remember to subscribe if you haven't. See you in the next one.